In this video, we're going to show you how to go from your Fusion 360 to the laser cutter using the inlay. So you've already cut this out of your box, and now we're ready to create the inlay. So I actually don't have to edit anything as far as within this file, but let's go to the Design tab. And within the Design tab, I don't have to edit in place. I'm just going to make a sketch right here. I'm going to make a sketch right on this face and click Create Sketch. And it's as easy then as going down to project the geometry of that face and clicking OK and Finish Sketch. Very simple. Let's go find that sketch, which happens to be under Sketches. If it's not showing up, I just right click it and say Save as DXF. And so I'm just going to save it to my downloads, and I'm just going to call it Inlay. And there is what I need for the laser cutter. So let's go ahead and switch to the laser cutting software. I'm going to open up Lightburn. Is what we use for laser cutting. If you don't have your setup correctly, it's going to look like this. Okay, and when it opens up, so I'll show you, I'll walk you through that. So we can just click Create manually, go all the way down to the bottom one, click Next, USB, Next, call it whatever you want, you know, Ileana laser, and then the dimensions. Oh, my dimensions are in inches, and it's supposed to be, it should be in millimeters for you. So I mean, actually, you know, I'm going to cancel out a second, change mine to millimeters, and try that one more time. Create, all the way to the bottom, Next, USB, and there we go. We're going to have it 1200 by 800 millimeters, and I'm going to call it Ileana laser. Keep it in the right rear. That's kind of how we've been setting up the origin for that, and then Finish, and then you can go to that one. I already had one set up, but I'll just go to that one and click OK. I'm going to switch it back to inches since that's kind of what I've been designing in, and here's my workspace that I have. So we're going to go to File and Imports this time, right here, and we're going to import that inlay. So under Downloads, there's that inlay, and there it is. Pretty simple to do that. Right now it's set to fill, so I'm going to change it to line. And I'm going to give the speeds here correct. So to cut through this, the speed's probably about, I think you can cut through at about 20 to 25. I'm going to say 22 should cut through it. And the power then, I'm going to put 100. Anytime we're cutting something, we're going to do 100. Okay. So that's the outside, what it's going to cut. Even got the little radiuses in there perfectly. You cannot change this size. All right, that has to be the correct size, so don't change that. Now you can add text right here. If you want to add some text. If you want to add a design, you can do that as well and trace it. So I'm going to show you how to do that next. So I went ahead and I went online, and I just found this pretty logo here that I liked. And let's see how well this goes. It should be a JPEG or PNG, and I'm going to click Import again, and we're going to click that pretty logo, and it brings it in as black and white. And then I'm going to see if I can trace this. It's a pretty cool feature here. We're going to go to Tools and Trace Image, and you notice that it traces it pretty well. There's a couple little spots here that it's tracing. You can kind of change this threshold to trace more or less of what you might want. But it usually gets pretty close to what you would like it to be, right in the middle there. Maybe I gotta go a little bit more if I want to have the gray be traced also. So it was like somewhere, not quite tracing the gray but that's okay. Let's see how it turns out. Sometimes you gotta get a different sketch otherwise too, or just kind of mess with this. I like to delete the image after the trace, that way it goes away. And there we got kind of the image we are looking for. If this is, you know, you need to delete some things about it, what you want to do is ungroup it. Okay, now I should be able to select individual selections to go through and maybe delete what I don't want. If the trace doesn't come out great, find a different image to do that. But the trace feature works pretty well, and it's just a little bit of taking the time to figure out how to get it to trace correctly. Then with these on here like this, I could possibly even, I'm going to hold shift to select both of these, and possibly even have this be a different color, and it'll be filled like that. And we can do that for some of these, and then I can have those be filled inside. Click undo, select both those by holding shift, and then click fill, and I'll just get the inside of this. Anything with a P here, I got this one, hold shift, click both of them, and then you notice how that would work that way. So for fill. So if those are all set to fill, my fill, power, 500 speed, 8 power, should be okay. I think I'm going to change that to 10 for the power, just for this, or any fill power. If you wanted to just etch some lines, like I like to call it etch some lines. You know, I'm going to change this to, because all these are black, I'm going to change this to, let's just say red, and then I'll have that be line, and put the powers like I had before. So that's 22 and 100, and then I can, all this black line, I can set, if I just wanted to etch it in there really quickly, I could set the speed at, I'm going to say 200, and the power is 10, and that should just etch it in there. Right. When you're finished, of course, I would want to still finish this logo, but when I do finish the logo, I can kind of just select it all and bring it down, and then it should automatically, if I wanted this to be almost a full logo, kind of snap to the middle. Gotta go a lot smaller than that yet, and that's okay. And it should snap kind of right to the middle, a little smaller than that. And you'll kind of put it, it'll snap kind of right in place to the middle of this entire thing, and there would be my logo. Now I can go through if I need to, and of course get rid of some of these things of what it needs to be. So a couple things. One thing, you have to do the inside first, so I would suggest doing the fill first. So I'll move this up, and then you can do the line and of like the etching, I would say. And you can rename that, and then the last thing would be cutting it all the way out. Okay. And so that's what we would need to do. Now, I do notice my origins over here. That's because I left some things over here. We want our origin to be right in the corner. Then, before you ever do anything, always preview it, and you can see what it does. In this case, it's going to etch it all in there. It's going to throw that all stuff in there. It's only going to take 51 seconds to do that entire thing, because it's pretty small to do that. So, that would be a lot of detail, but just an example. You can get any picture you want to etch it. If you don't want to do that, of course, you can just click the text button and do any font that they have up here and change the font or design that you want to do. So have fun with your design, etching it, figuring it out, and then when you're finished, make sure you save it, and we can bring